Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna make a video right now because I have a moment that I would like to record for posterity. This is me, not being self-conscious about everything. Oh, it's too low. Oh, but I have a heavier thing to put on the back. Oh, I probably should have turned that on. Okay, let's see here. There we go. Alright, so me. I went to court yesterday. Today was my birthday and it was terrible, and birthdays are kind of a big deal for me. And anyway, I was in the kitchen and I was making myself a cup of tea. I'm having a really hard time kind of like coming down from all the things that I did. It sounds like the way this is not capturing all of me because apparently I am a crazy person, which is not apparent, whatever, that's obviously a thing, but apparently I am also crazy, and I don't want the thing to capture all of me. But I was in the kitchen, and my critic is just like going through and just like, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, everything I see also becomes critic ammo. And I was standing here, and there's this bottle that I opened for my birthday of sparkly deliciousness, and I'm right now like kind of horrified that I'm touching the bottle because there's condensation on the sides, and where my fingers have grasped it has taken away the condensation, which means that those condensations have either died or been like saved, and the ones that are left are just like so upset, and so now I have to make it all even, so I have to get all the condensation off the back. But the point is, my critic is crazy. My critic is creative and ridiculous, and this is a point where I want to say my critic is beating me up. Instead of taking the beating, I'm just going to start laughing and saying, you know what? It's ridiculous. Because I was in the kitchen and I wanted to put a cover on this because it's fizzy and it will lose its fizz. And then my critic was like, but the bottle hates you. And you have upset the bottle already, and if you let it know that you like think about it, then it will be really upset to know that you knew that it could have been losing its fizzy. The whining in the background is my dog, who is really worried about me because I'm having a hard time and he's not allowed to help me because he hurt his back, and so he has to be on bed rest. Sorry. Beside the point. And so now I'm like, and even at this moment, I'm like, okay, so I've got this piece of like, this stuff, saran wrap that you're supposed to put over it. And I put it over it, and then it helps it so that the fizzy doesn't escape. But again, what about the fizzies that have escaped? And the ones that haven't, like, they're trying to escape and get to their friends. Like, I'm picturing kind of a Holocaust situation here, where, like, some of the fizzes have come out, and they're like, come on, my children, come with me, and then I put this on, and then I suffocate them, and they die. Or, they need to be contained, because if they get out, then they're gonna get lost in a sea of craziness. It's Finding Nemo, basically. Like, it's gonna be like a fish that's like, where's my parents? And there's too much air and around, so they're gonna be terrified, so I better hurry and fix it. This is another example of what I call cliff avoidance, where there are, two options, or, a plethora of options, and every option is somehow causing harm. It's not about doing anything good, it's about reducing harm, because one way or another harm is going to be done. Either the bottle is now upset that I've been talking about it so long and it just wants me to put it in the fridge before it gets too warm because it doesn't like being warm, or there's things in like yeast or something that wants it to be warm, and so it's happy that I'm talking, but also I'm gonna have to end this at some point, so now like I have to keep going because at some point then I am gonna have to stop, and then it's like, does the bottle go in the fridge or does it not go in the fridge? And it's just like that's right, I'm just going to turn this into an opportunity to talk about cliff avoidance, because that's really what this feeling, I think, consistently is. It's like, everything I see, like, there's this that's, like, upset, and a lot of things are being neglected, essentially. Like, I haven't given this the love it deserves, and this has a purpose, and it's not being utilized properly, and this is its friend over there, like, so we've got a mortar here, and the pestle is all the way over here, and so they've been basically, like, weeping all evening when they haven't been united, and now I did this, but see, I didn't do it gentle enough, so now they're fighting, and I've put them together, and maybe, like, this is a mommy one that's punishing the baby one, and this one had its freedom, and now it's back home where it, like, is going to die inside, and I'm the one who made it happen. Um, every single thing I look at, like everything is just like, you're causing terrible harm, terrible harm, terrible harm. So the point is, ridiculous, right? Like, these things don't have feelings. Even saying that right now, my critic is like, how dare, like, you're so, like, feelingist or whatever, like, I'm doing everything wrong and I'm being terribly narcissistic and terrible by, like, telling these things that their feelings aren't as important as my feelings, or even just stopping talking about their feelings is, like, a detriment to what they truly deserve as, like, an individual mortar pestle. Because if I say mortar and pestle, it's grouping them together, and that's not fair either, because they are individuals just because they get placed together. Like, so anyway, ridiculous, right? Like, and then I try to do something actually, and I just freeze. I just, like, shrunk, and I'm like, and this, like, it might seem like spacing out, or it's it's just pure, just like everything I do is going to cause harm, and not doing anything is going to cause harm. So you're just like, can time just pass by and I don't have to exist in it because my existence is causing harm? Cliff avoidance. I can't do anything. I just gotta hold this. I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna make a decision. I'm gonna put this down because I don't want to have to hold it anymore. So I'm putting it down. And of course, everywhere I'm putting it is terrible, because other things are either jealous that they didn't get it put on top of them, or the thing that I'm putting it on is like, it's a terrible tragedy. Cliff avoidance. I feel like I'm like running, and I'm running and running and I'm running and I'm exhausted, but like there is a monster like that close, like just chasing me. It's just like, and I'm just like, oh my god, I gotta keep running because it's right there. Like it's right there. And like, it's not just me. It's like I'm running away, but I'm like pushing this like cart full of puppies and babies and things. And so like I gotta keep them safe. Like I gotta keep running and running and running. And it's right there, and I'm so tired, but I'm gonna keep doing it no matter what, because I've passed the point of like feeling the body, like feeling, it's like, I don't care what's going on. If you see a rattlesnake, you're gonna jump away. Like, you could have a broken leg and you're still gonna jump away. You're not gonna feel it, and that's kind of the state of me, like, all the time. So I'm just like, and then there's also this other situation where there's gonna be a cliff coming, right? And I can either run so fast that when the cliff comes and if I like push hard enough and jump, like, we'll get across, like, barely. But if I keep going fast enough, like, we're gonna make it. Or I could stop at any moment, knowing that the monster isn't real. Now, that doesn't mean my adrenaline's not pumping and cortisol in my heart, and it's like I see the monster, but like there's a part in my brain that's like, it's not real, and that part has been true every other time this has happened. So I know it's true, but at the same time, like, I can feel the heat and the drool and the, and also I don't really want to risk it with all of my like babies and puppies and kittens and helpless creatures that I need to protect. I don't really want to risk it. I'll just keep going for another second while I think about it. I'm just gonna keep and then but if I do decide that I want to stop, and I start stopping, and then the cliff comes in like 10 feet, I'm not gonna have enough time to stop, but I'm also not gonna be going fast enough to jump, so then I'm gonna fall. So it's this like, I gotta run, I wanna stop. I know rationally that if I stop, everything's gonna be okay, but like I feel terrified, and like I see the things, I feel the things, I love these babies, like I care about them, and I know they're not real, but like it's not worth trying to stop. Like, I gotta keep going. But I also rationally know that at some point my body's gonna stop, at which point, like, then they might just roll off the cliff. And it's just a situation where there's no answer, like there's no, everything I do is causing harm, and that's why like it's not like I can end it, or like end me, and I know I'm kind of talking about, it's like at any moment if you're causing harm, like the worst thing that can happen is you leave the situation, right? And then you can be sure you're not causing harm. But like for me, leaving the situation is also causing harm. Like there is no right answer. Like this whole time I've been doing this, I'm so conscious of this little piece of plastic that I put down at the beginning, and how it's like there are chapters and novels in my head about the things that are happening down here, because this thing went down. There are cities and there were alliances and there are loved ones that have committed suicide, and it's just all because, and if I didn't exist, I wouldn't have gotten this thing out. So it's all my fault. And I want to put it on this bottle, and I'm going to. It's terrifying, but I rationally, and I know that's something that's okay to do. I rationally know it. So this is me saying there isn't a monster. It's really scary, and it's not easy to do, and it takes so much energy. And that doesn't mean that there's not 15,000 other things around that are also needing to be saved or whatever. So anyway, this was an attempt to say, like, what I'm supposed to be doing is saying the critic is creative. It's ridiculous. So when it starts getting into these things where, like, I am, like, I'm the bridge between coffee filters and coffee makers, always having the correct size and number so that nothing ever gets wasted, and that things always feel like purposeful and like they're fulfilling their potential in life. Like that world that has to do with me, maybe like me like basically getting out of a piece of plastic wrap, it's ridiculous. Like my critic is so determined to make me feel bad that it will use that kind of story. It's ridiculous. That's really all there is to it. You have to, instead of feeling terrible, you have to laugh, and you have to just be like, wow, like, holy crap, man, that's some crazy stuff coming out of your head that, like, isn't true, and it's ridiculous. Like, if you actually are motivated to do things based off of these thoughts, like, that a mortar and a pestle, like, have a relationship and can hurt each other's feelings, and that it's, like, something I should care about, and all these things, like, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that my critic gets me in this world in the first place, and that it influences my behavior at all. And even if it doesn't influence my behavior, it influences my emotions very dramatically. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm also going to take a moment to say it's very sad, because it is. It's just, it's sad that I'm not the only person, like, whatever, there's a lot of people that have this kind of stuff to different degrees, and it's just sad that things happen that, like, for whatever reason, or how it happens, like, it's just sad that it exists ever, that people's brains, that people feel so bad about things that there's just they don't have to feel bad about it. Anyway, okay, that's it. I'm gonna end this the way I end my videos. Starting to learn the terrifying thing I'm actually saying, and how terrifying it is to do. Feel your feelings. It will help you get better. It will help you get better. That is the path towards healing and integration and all of the things that we want to have happen. You have to feel the feelings, and they're terrifying, and they suck, and they're the worst. They're, like, I want to say, like, it's not as bad as you think it's gonna be, but that's not true. It's terrible. will pass. Not that I know moment to moment it will pass, and everyone keeps telling me there will come times where it's less time and less time. And it will be worth it at some point to like the good will outweigh, or at least there will be, I will feel like there's some potential good that might come from this existence, whatever this is right here, that's something good. The world might actually like at least break even as far as all the harm I've done, and being able to maybe make up for it all. That's what they say. At some point I might feel that kind of like, well then I can exist here. So random, like people ask me if I'm cold all the time, because when I get scared I do this, like I'm like, apparently it looks like I'm cold, like do this, but it's not cold, it's just terror. It's like, oh, and I'm like, and then also I know how to like smile and look relaxed, and all this stuff. My shoulders don't really like, it's hard to make your shoulders not clench. See? I can totally look relaxed if I need to. I don't feel any less like this than I did before, but I can look. I can look relaxed. You just kind of like, you have to think of like a, anyway, there's a whole thing. I don't know how to make it seem genuine. I'm gonna stop now. Okay. This is sad. It's significant. I hope that this analogy can help other people explain what it's like or something. I think it's a good analogy. I think it's accurate, and it's really nice to just have words to explain a feeling that's like impossible to understand or identify when you're in the moment. Okay. Remember to feel your feelings. I'm gonna say it again. I do believe it's the path forward, because I know the path forward means facing fears, and this is definitely requiring a lot of bravery and for me to face my fears. I just gotta keep rocking it, just take it and keep standing, and at some point it will help someone. Yay! Okay, bye.